Hello and welcome once more to this Red Gaming Tech video. Myself, Marta, where as always I'm here with the latest from the tech world in the last 24 or so hours. Today we're going to start off with an update on the whole G2A situation. So, as a bit of an update, in case you missed my previous section on a previous video about this, G2A understandably has a bit of a reputation as a grey market site. It is a grey market site, but what I mean is it has a reputation for selling fraudulently acquired keys, either through credit card fraud, or there's people who have got them through giveaways fraudulently, or there's review keys being put up there for sale, all that sort of stuff. Now G2A have tried repeatedly to try and sort of calm the storm around this, and to be honest with you, it's failed, because there have been multiple indie developers who have spoken out quite passionately about how this has affected them, because, well, if a key is sold through credit card fraud, they have to pay the average chargeback fee for every cancelled transaction, which is roughly $20. So it costs them money for these keys to actually be bought with stolen credit cards. And the developer of Factorio has even gone out on record saying, quote, "We estimate the total amount of fees we paid because of chargebacks is about $6,600. Now, this number would actually be higher, but after they received a ton of chargeback issues back in 2016, they moved direct sales of Factorio through the Humble widget. So they basically got stung and moved their game elsewhere, or else that number that I just read out would be much, much higher. Now, of course, G2A recently did announce that they would be refunding any developer who had to pay chargebacks, but paying them 10 times the amount they lost, but of course, if they could prove it. And then they went on a bunch of PR stuff, basically saying, like, yeah, this is only a small percentage of things, and all that sort of stuff. And then there's a bunch of articles posted online that were paid for, and G2A basically asked for them not to be disclosed, and you can Google yourself to see all the claims surrounding that. And of course the allegations surrounding that, but we again have more statements from Factorio devs who basically said that they're going to be taking G2A up on this offer, and they have not had the best response so far. The PR and community manager Scott Clonan wrote, quote, "I emailed G2A about the article and their vow last week, and they are not exactly prompt in terms of dealing with the request. I have a list of all the Steam keys I had to revoke because they were purchased fraudulently. And G2A offered to check the keys. Currently, this is where the story ends. And they haven't replied to my last email 2 days ago, sending them the keys and asking how many of them were sold on the website." So we'll have to see how G2A responds to this, because again, they said that they would not only pay developers back the chargeback fees, but 10 times. And let's say they can prove that those $6,600 all came from G2A, which it probably wasn't, but let's just pretend that it was. 10 times that is no small change, even for a company like G2A. And there's yet more update for this. They have announced on their website a potential solution to the fraudulent key issue, a key blocking tool for developers to use. Now, according to them, that being G2A, the two main issues are what I've already mentioned: credit card fraud, review keys / keys who have use bots on giveaways to get keys fraudulently. And once again, with this solution, they are putting the onus on the developer, as essentially the tool is a way for developers to register keys that they do not want sold on G2A. So let's say they've got a batch of 20 keys, just for example, that they're going to put in a giveaway. They don't want those being sold. And say they've given a bunch of keys to reviewers. They want those being sold. Most reviewers are not going to do that because, well, why would they? But let's just say, better safe than sorry. Put those on there. Now, that sounds great, but it doesn't change the whole credit card fraud issue. And G2A is kind of skirting that and basically trying to put the blame on the review keys / giveaway issues. Now, I'm not saying those don't happen, because they obviously do to some degree, but the reports regarding the credit card fraud have been going around a long time. Yes, they are just allegations, but still. And there's more to this as well. They have yet to actually put this tool up. It sounds like a decent olive branch on the surface, but they haven't actually put it up yet, and they will only start work on it if 100 developers sign up within a month, and the list will be public as well. And once again, in their article, they are trying to downplay the whole situation. That's not exactly surprising, but it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because just the way they've handled this whole thing from the beginning, even before all this, back last year, when this was surfacing its ugly head, the way they responded to things just left a bad taste in my mouth, and that's just still there. it's just sour, guys. It's sour. Anyway, you can find their post in the description below this video. I suggest you give it a read for yourself. Decide for yourself what you think of this key blocking tool. Yes, it is a decent-ish solution to one of the issues, but once again, they are putting the responsibility on the developer when really it should be them as the key seller. That's my personal opinion, of course. Anyway, we're going to move over now to Nvidia and DLSS. DLSS was something that Nvidia was very keen to tout as something that would improve performance quite a bit. However, the list of games that support it is small, but it is growing, and it has a very interesting addition in the form of Monster Hunter World. And there's going to be a feature next week that will allow you to use Nvidia DLSS technology. Of course, you'll have to update your drivers and all that sort of stuff. But Capcom has confirmed that yes, the game will be getting the Nvidia DLSS support. And they have also, Nvidia are making the claim, the rather bold claim I must say, that DLSS is capable of, quote, boosting performance at 4K by up to 50% in the game's most demanding moments. And you can find their statement where they say that in the description below this video. They're also saying that you can now achieve 60 FPS at 4K, which was previously unobtainable. And 30 FPS at 4K is now more possible for those of you with the lower end cards of the 2060 and 2070 with the help of DLSS. And they have shown a graph which shows the improvements in performance which you have been enjoying on screen. Now, the game is also going to be getting another DLSS feature in the shape of a new sharpness slider, and it is pretty much what it says on the tin. It allows you to adjust the sharpness or softness of images. I know, shocking, just shocking. So yeah, pretty nice. We'll have to see how accurate these claims of 50% performance boost actually are. That is a very bold claim to make. Anyone who owns the game wanting to test this out, let us know if this is actually true. That would be wonderful to touch up on as an update. Anyway, let's move over to AMD next. And this is just a bit of a quick one, as according to the Passmark CPU benchmark, AMD market share is up 4.9%. And that is in the most recent quarter. And they actually just do their quarters in the way that makes sense. You know, Q1 is January 1st, for instance, rather than financial years, which is just confusing, and each company has their own one. Anyway, so this basically shows that obviously there's just an uptick in people benchmarking Ryzen processors, because unsurprisingly, a bunch of people, for some mysterious reason, bought a bunch of Ryzen processors recently. What could possibly be causing that to happen? But speaking of an increase in all things PC, we've got some updates for the PC shipment market. So we have a very lengthy report thanks to IDC.com, an analyst firm, and according to them, the PC shipments market are quote-unquote back on track, pretty much on cue as Ryzen 3000 entered the market, and this was following a quote sluggish start to the year. And this isn't just in America, it is worldwide that we are seeing this nice uplift for it. So we are seeing an increase in desktops, laptops and workstations, which totaled 64.9 million units in the second quarter, just before we saw Ryzen come onto the market. So this is before Ryzen. So I'm really interested to see the reports for after Ryzen came onto the market. So this is an actual increase of 4.7% year over year, which is, quote, notably higher than expected. And you might go, okay, if this is before Ryzen came out, what was actually the cause for this? And it was apparently just the supply shortages have lifted. And this is according to Jitesh Abrani, who is the research manager for IDC mobile device trackers. And they said, quote, supply for Intel's processors improved markedly during the quarter, allowing most PC vendors to fulfill old orders while also shipping a healthy supply of new PCs into the channels. Additionally, the threat of increased tariffs led some PC makers to ship a surplus of desktops and notebooks, thereby artificially propping up the PC market during the second quarter. Worldwide PC shipments growth was driven by demand from the Windows 10 refresh in the business market in the second quarter of 2019. Desktop PC growth was strong, which offset a decline in mobile PC shipments. And that's a bit of a statement from Mikako Kitagawa, senior principal analyst at Gartner, and they said, quote, additionally, there are signs that the Intel CPU shortage is easing, which has been an ongoing impact to the market for the past 18 months. The shortage mainly impacted small and mid-sized vendors as large vendors took advantage and continued to grow, taking market share away from the smaller vendors that struggled to secure CPUs. Now, I spoke a lot, and I do mean a lot, about the impact that the Intel shortage was having, and it was pretty widespread. That impact was not to be sniffed at all, but it seems like it's finally starting to ease off just a little bit. Now, we also have a little bit more information, but you will find the full report from them linked in the description below this video. It is rather lengthy, but it's also rather interesting. I'd suggest you give it a read if you want to know more. Sorry, I just hit my mic there, apologies. But we are going to be, we do see, should I say, the top 3 spots going to Lenovo, HP, and Dell in that order. So, again, that is just before Ryzen came out into the market, so next quarter, very, very interested to see the impact that we see from Ryzen 3000. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, your support is highly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.